All right, welcome back to another episode of Let's Grow Polling, East Coast Edition. I'm your host, Will Whitt, and tonight we've got a different type of guest. He's more of similar to what I do, and his name is Chris Baker, and he's going to bring us a little bit of a report of what's going on up north a little bit in Pennsylvania and lower New York. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, so there we go. It's going live out to the interwebs to you guys. Hope you're having a great week. We are doing well. It was an off weekend because everything kind of got rained out. There was some polling around, obviously, and if you got your polls in, that's great. So like this, share us on your timelines, and tell your friends so they can tune in too. And we're just gonna talk about what's going on with us. We got Benson coming up this week, and we also have a poll in Victoria, Virginia, and then Chris is going to tell us a little bit about what's going on up his way and what he's got going on. So let's get right to it. First and foremost, we want to thank Big L Tire out of Harrisonburg, Virginia. They have 5 convenient locations in Virginia to help you out. Check them out on the web at bigltireco.com and 800-289-2445. We also want to thank AED Custom Graphics out of Richmond, Virginia. They hooked us up with sweet hats and shirts and hoodies, and we did the work, and it was really good. I've got a lot of compliments on them, and they can help you with office signage, full vehicle wraps, custom banners, company logos, goal tracking, and team building graphics. The possibilities are endless. They also do our bumper stickers that are proudly displayed on a lot of polling vehicles across the land. Thank you for joining the WWPTV family. AED, they can hook you up. Most notably, they wrap the Punisher truck and the Young Gun, I believe, and several others. So check them out. We also want to thank Cooke Auto Group out of Colonial Heights, Virginia. They've come on to help sponsor us. These guys used to run modified 4x4 trucks back in the day, and they're going to be doing so soon, as well as a diesel 2.6 truck as well. They're also a sponsor for Dragon Motorsports this year in the modified 4x4 class. Cooke Auto Group is your source in Central Virginia for auto sales, collision repair, and towing. 804-451-0290. WWPTV, we almost have 2,200 people following us on YouTube. We went through the 2,100s super fast. So I just finished up the remainder of Gladys. I've got some Pine Tops going live real soon. So check that out. No one said they couldn't hear me, so I assume everything is copacetic out there. If you can, let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. I should say that earlier, but it just dawned on me. I see the red light. The red light is on. I see it going over here, so it tells me it's good. Anyway, so share this, and hold on. Let's see if we can. Yep. Okay. I hear it. I hear the audio, so it is there. It is going out to the webs, and everybody seems to be. Sound is in and out. Hey, well, okay. I can't really do anything about that. I'm looking at a cable plan. I just don't want to get into a contract. We'll see if we can update that. And I told the kids they better not be on their Kindles or devices. So we'll see. Let's see. What else? WWPTV. We're posting a lot of good videos out there. So subscribe. Help us out. And that's also going to help our first guest out. Our only guest tonight. We're going small, but it's with a lot of purpose. We have Chris Baker coming on the show, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about what's going on and what he aims to do. He's been in the crew of Kenny Ripion and the Green Machine, right there. So Chris has helped out with that, and now he's got some other endeavors that he's going to talk about tonight. So let's get into it. We'll get Chris on the phone, and we'll go from there. Sorry about the audio. Just be patient with me, and if it's really bad, just we'll go back back and watch it on YouTube or something like that, and try to fix that in the future going forward. I really don't want to go back to Verizon. Verizon's the mother of all evil, and that's my opinion. That's just the way they've treated me in the past. So if I have to, I will go back to them. I really don't want to. So here we go. We're going to get Chris on the phone. All right. There he is. I hear him.
Yo.
Hey, Chris Baker, how are you?
Not too bad. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Bear with me. I know you've tuned in a lot of people, and just tell them to, hey, keep on sticking around. I think the audio might get cleared up here. If it doesn't, we can go back and watch it on YouTube or something like that. Talk about when you first came around polling. What was it like back then?
I was like 4 or 5 years old. Like, my dad worked on a farm, so we didn't get to go on vacation. So my vacations were going to a couple local fairs, going tractor pulling. The first one I was ever at was Troy Fair.
Troy Fair. Now you just went up there a while back and you took some pictures and some videos. How was it from that perspective? Not just being a fan, but also getting behind the camera a little bit.
I mean, the guys that run the Troy Fair polls, they're hands down some of the best promoters in the sport. Yeah, the Davises, I grew up watching them since I was a kid. I sat there and had a lot of talks with the Davis boys all day long. You know, just talking and about memories and everything.
Mm-hmm. And they run the Super Red modified 8500 modified turbo, correct?
Yes, they run Super Red.
And then before that, yeah.
Super stock at one time.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. And before that, they used to have a 1486. They ran with a hot farm circuit. A lot of the big names around this area used to run all hot farms. There was Chris Court and his brother ran a couple cases. And then you had the Davises with the 14. The Woolivers out of Montoursville, they have a nice looking mod turbo 930 case now. They used to run a 970 around. And Burns Irby used to run with them guys quite a bit. That's like, they were big time tractors back when I was a kid coming to the local fair.
Now, is that pretty much what you think the super stock is now, is the mod turbo? Everybody's kind of gone to that.
I'd actually rather watch a good mod turbo class, the white limited hot farm, than I would a super stock class. To me, the competition's tighter than the bigger tractors are.
Yeah, and a lot of those teams, with the exception of Zerby, because he'll roll out 5 or 6. I think he still has 5. With the exception of Vern Zerby, most of those guys, maybe it's a 1 or 2 tractor team. It's not a 3 or 4 tractor team like you would see on some of the super stock circuits or something like that. Or, you know, maybe one vehicle is maybe a little bit different than the other. Yeah, it does seem like it's a little bit more one-off. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would.
And you were at Keystone. Yeah, that Diaz tractor looked absolutely ridiculous, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a good track this year. That was the wettest good track I've ever saw at Keystone, I believe.
Yeah. Now, I especially love the little whiskey bottles in the levers. That was just wonderful. I'll try to post a close up of that later, but I was just blown away. Hey, so what do you like if you had to watch a polling video of trucks or tractors? What would it be?
100% tractors.
Now, listen, for each and every Chris Baker out there, there's also an equal and opposite Chris Baker out there. There are tractor guys that are tractor guys, and there are truck guys that are absolute truck guys, and then girls and guys. I know. I know you girls like the sport too. Some of you don't want to admit it, but anyway, I know there are plenty of people like you. One of the things I've kind of been trying to do, Chris, and I don't know if this is going to work out in the long run, but I think it's helping, is to introduce tractor guys to truck guys and say, hey, look, this is a sponsor for this league or whatever, so and so. And then they introduce each other. And guess what happens? They naturally just start rooting for each other. So, you know, you got a tractor guy sticking around and watching a truck guy. You got a truck guy sticking around watching a tractor guy. And that might not have ever happened in the past, maybe except for people from, say, a hometown or something like that. But it's all about that, making that connection and telling people, hey, this is who this is. Not just some random person, but maybe they're a sponsor or they're a promoter or something like that.
I'm not totally against trucks. Like I like a good truck class once in a while.
Right.
They're just not my favorite class to watch. Now Keystone, I don't watch any of the gas trucks at all. It's just too loud in there.
Yeah.
Same with the mod tractors. I like watching a good mod tractor pull too, but it's just too loud in there. But my hometown fair, or if there's a couple of truck classes at a school I go to where there's tractors, I'm going to sit there and watch them. Now, when I was a kid, that was a different story.
Right. Well, as a kid, you got a one-track mind. You know, you're focused on a red one or a green one or a corn dog or a cotton candy or a soda. That it comes to your mind at that moment, that's what you're thinking about. Yeah, I'm kind of with you with that. Now, listen, I have earplugs and earphones to cover up from that kind of stuff. And the way I tell how close things are to me when they get loud is the sheer vibration of it. Like, I feel it through my body with a modified tractor or even a modified 4x4 because I feel the gripping. I don't necessarily, you can still hear it through the earmuffs. Let's not kid ourselves. But it lessens it in such a way that you can drive home and your ears aren't ringing. So, hey, let me ask you a question. What do you think makes a good pulling video? If Chris Baker's going to sit down and he's going to watch a good pulling video, I'm not saying who you're watching, but what are you looking for? What do you want?
If I'm looking for a video on YouTube, if it's a current video, I'm looking for the hot farm class, heavy superstar, a heavy farm stock class, way up to the mod turbos. That's about it. Now, if there's a new tractor that gets debuted or something, yeah, of course I'm going to want to see what it looks like. Like Carlton Cope last weekend pulled out his new Limited Pro, and that was cool watching that for the first time. Yeah,
it certainly was. And in Sugar Creek, had someone told me about it, I might have gone out. But I'm going to tell you, my wife loved having me around the house, and I told her about that today. Actually, I said, well, there was a poll. I didn't hear about it in time, and I didn't know about it. You know, mine being canceled. I kind of had enough notice, but yeah, that was a beautiful tractor, and yeah, I don't think it pulled what I think it can pull, but you know, it was still good to see that.
Yeah, it was the first time down the track. Yeah. Everything's gonna have bugs.
No, absolutely. Okay, so what? Now you've talked about you like hot farm, heavy farm, and the new stuff. What when you film it or take a photo of it? What's the easiest to film or photo in your opinion?
Probably like a super farm or mod turbo. And I don't get to see the super stocks very often up close in person. So when I do get to see them in the summer, I'm paying more attention to that than I am the camera.
Yeah, no, I hear you. We have some, not contributors, but some people who film their pulling teams, and everything goes good for about 200 foot, about 250 the camera drops. Or it's filmed up and down, and you know I've seen so many videos on Facebook. I get through it, and there's a point in the video where I'm like, I have to scroll. I can't watch this. And I'll go back and look at it, and I can literally hear the camera squeaking as it turns. Because you're going to notice this. At 3 or 4 miles per hour, the camera only moves so fast. So, yeah, those are the things I pay attention to, you know, as someone who also films. So, yeah, you'll notice that. Hey, what's the best story that you've been involved in?
Oh man, there's been a lot of stories I've been involved in.
Well, tell me a few of them. We got plenty of time. There's no other guests kicking you off. Go ahead.
I honestly can't think of one to tell her at this second.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. Let's come back to that. Okay, let's talk about NEPA polling picks. What tell me about this? Okay, you came to me about this idea. Okay, tell me about it. NEPA polling picks, and tell the world about it.
Well, up here in our little neck of the corner, when I was a kid, there was never really all that many hot tractors or hot trucks that pulled. And the local fair here in the shop and had the tractor pull, but it always seemed that was always on a pinch pull. So we were lucky if we got 8 or 10 bigger tractors and to come pull. And when I was a kid, that was like, I got that day off of school. That was like a national holiday for me. I got it off of school every year to watch the farm stocks right on up to the big stuff at night. Sat right there and watch everything pull. And then my dad, he kind of kept me on a leash in my younger years as far as going to the pits. But as soon as I got off that leash, I started heading toward the pits.
Right.
I wanted to be closer to the action.
Right.
And I'm just trying to grow a sport around here. There's a lot of good guys and girls that pull in this area. And I don't think a lot of people understand what our sport is all about and what exactly we do, and kind of a family atmosphere between all the pullers at the polls. I mean, yeah, we get mad at each other once in a while and yell at them and this or that, but when it all comes down to it, they need a helping hand. Pretty much everybody's there to lend them a helping hand.
Right. I just talked to a lady recently, and she just didn't understand what the sport was until she went to one. And she said, I will never, for the rest of my life, miss a tractor pull. She loved it, because it was a good atmosphere. It was all her friends that she knew anyway, and they were they're there watching in a moment, eating good food, drinking good stuff, and then they're watching good entertainment in front of them. And a lot of people don't understand that you can get into one of these events for $10 or $15. Dinner is a really good hot dog or barbecue sandwich, or oh my gosh, sometimes you get a turkey leg. Sometimes you can get all kinds of stuff. You can get wraps at some of these places. I mean, it's ridiculous. So there is a lot of good pulling out there where there's, maybe a food truck vendor or a kettle corn vendor that you don't have, or, local that come in on those events. And I think as we grow awareness and we start talking about, hey, we're going to have some vendors there come out, I think it's going to help grow the sport. Now, to talk about NEPA, that area that you have carved out, how many polls are in that area, would you say?
There's probably a dozen or 20, but there's a couple antique clubs pull up this way like once a month, not too far from my house. I mean, we have a lot of pulling of all different sorts of classes, everything from garden tractors all the way on up to your big semis, your street legal semis anyway.
Right. Now,
and
go ahead.
Pretty much all the local fairs have at least a poll. A few years ago, the only polls around here that was sanctioned when I was a kid was a Troy Fair, and that was an NTPA sanctioned event. The last couple years, our hometown fair here in the shop has got interstate come pull a couple classes there. I think it's really helping the crowd, but you always want to see more.
No, right. That's true with anything good in life. You always want more of it. Yeah, talk about you filmed something that I'm not really used to, and it's two tractors pulling a sled at the same time. Tell everybody a little bit about that, and what's good about it, and what can go wrong with it. What's exciting about it. Tell everybody about that.
About what now?
When you have two tractors hooked up to the sled, those old antiques.
Oh, the DoubleTree.
Yep.
There's a couple places around here. The Hartford Fair is the first time I ever heard about it 3 or 4 years ago. They take the same horsepower as each, and they pretty much hook them up like they did the horses to a wagon years ago, or a big piece of equipment in the field, and they'll pull the tractors. The two tractors will pull the sled together down the track. I'm not sure how heavy of a weight they go, but man, I'd sure like to get my farm stock in one of them, like a 20,000-pound one.
How do they communicate? Have you noticed that? How they do symbols, or they kind of say, okay, you're up, you know, bring it down a little bit, throttle down, throttle up. What's going on?
The ideal is to keep the wheel speed the same.
Right.
But there's no tractor puller out there that keeps the fingers off anything on the motor. So you're always going to usually have one tractor. The tires are turning just a little bit bigger. And that's the biggest key, is to try to keep everything even when you're going down the track. There was an incident a couple years ago up to Hartford, a father and son team, and they had two beautiful Olivers, and they touched sheet metal. Nobody was hurt or anything. That was a good thing.
No,
but
wow.
that's just a risk you take with the double tree.
And you just said they bumped. They didn't like slam into each other. Nothing violent.
No, I mean I think they were like doing 4 or 5 miles an hour is all they were doing. So it's a pace class.
But you know, look, you 4 or 5 miles an hour on one of those things that's 15,000-20,000 pounds. It can do a little damage. Okay, it could cause a little body damage easily.
Oh yeah, it could. I mean, it's just as dangerous as any other part of truck and tractor farm can be.
Yeah. Now, how many events do you plan on covering this year, Chris?
I'm gonna try to do 10 or so.
Okay. So
10 or so is what I'm gonna try to cover.
About 10. Okay.
Yeah.
So look, I said, you told me something today. You said you and your family were going to sit down and watch some videos and kind of take some notes and figure out, hey, what do I like, what do I not like, and I've given you kind of like a checklist of things to go over before you start filming. Just things that you want to check and look for. Charge batteries, number one. But look at the videos, and I think that's good. That's what's going to grow the sport even more, is when people look at other people's videos and say, okay, I know what mine look like. Now I want my videos to look like that. How are they doing that? Where are they at? What's their angle? And hey, look, we look forward to seeing what kind of footage you get. You know what I mean? Because I don't think there's such a thing as bad footage if it's done right and tastefully. As long as you don't turn the camera over sideways and film sideways with a $high camera, I think you're going to be fine. But
didn't you do that just a couple weeks ago?
No, I did. Yeah, I fell over. I didn't mean to, but like I said, you live and learn. Okay, I've been doing this 5 years now, and I still have moments of unclarity, if you will. But what that did is it put me into what I would say probably is the best tripod I've ever seen or heard about. I'd been saving up for a while, and I got it, and I love it. And so little things like that will happen. As you're filming and taking photos, and you're gonna say, well, this needs to be faster, or this needs to keep up with a Henry Everman or a Hootman or something like that. And you start understanding, hey, I need this piece of equipment to capture that, or to film that. You know what I mean? Or one camera is not good enough. I need it for this far, and then switch to another camera angle. That kind of thing. That's what you're going to learn over these events. But 10 sounds like a good number. I think the first year I filmed, I got 23 events in, 23, and then every year it's been working up. And this past year I filmed 40, and some of those were like a 3-day Gordyville. Okay. Some of those were a 3-day Keystone. Okay. So outside of those, really it's like 34. It's only 34. Okay. But you'll get there, and take these 10 events and then look at them and say, you know what? All about taking it back to the promoter and saying, hey, here's what I can do. Now I can promote your next event for you because I have this really money footage that I took at your last event. So